To everyone in the collective. Hopefully, everybody has had an amazing moon day. Ashe to all the moon gods and goddesses of our highest good. Ashe to the moon gods and goddess each. Ashe. So, I decided I wanted to do a wild card. You know, I've only done it maybe once. And that's because, y'all, I be, you know, for everyone that supports the channel, it really means a lot to me because as I step outside of my physical self, my vessel self, the one that is that has been bound by all the standards, the norms, society, the beliefs, the everything, the false matrices and everything. It's difficult for me to show people parts of myself, okay? Collective. So, like I talked about astral travel earlier, or I think it was last night. I don't tell people that I know how to. Folks wouldn't believe me. Anyway, so the wild cards, they are here. The subjects are crazy. And again, we know if the video is pixelating and the video is crappy, we know why. Okay. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and do a wild card. So if you feel inclined to tune in, stick around for this live, please feel free to do so. But as you come into the live, be sure to come in with respect, an open mind, and always with your own intuition and discernment for whatever it is that I give out. Okay. I do not encourage people to take my word or anyone's word for anything. Always go to the Most High God source for confirmation on any part of your life, any answers or final confirmation that you may need. Okay. So we doing a wild card, right? And it's so funny because at the bottom, I'm probably not going to take it. I'm going to reshuffle. But at the bottom, it says, why spells, especially witchcraft, dark magic, love spells, snakes magic, why they work on some and not others. Okay. I already been explaining that to people. These spells, these witchcraft, they're energies, aka entities. They are typically sent with ill intent. Okay. Anyways, they are typically sent with ill intent, negative energies and thought forms. So they attach to the parts of you that are unhealed that may let's smash magic, okay? And if you have any immoralities or any insecurities, anything that you are hiding that you have not healed from sexually, then typically people can use smash magic against you, okay? Love spells, same thing. Why they work on some and not others is a lot of people don't embody self-love, as most of you are coming into this energy of knowing self and embracing self-love. You will stop depending on anything and anyone outside of you to be a security blanket of love for you. Therefore, when you start finding that self-love, I say people use that term, that phrase, but they really don't know what it means. They don't implement it. But long story short, love spells work on people who don't know self-love, who don't know what real love is. They may have attachment issues. They may have emotional codependencies on other people and stuff. And so then when folks do love spells on them, the unhealed parts of that love energy or lack of self-love or lack of love for self, however you want to call it, those spells are able to easily attach to a person. Okay. This is why some spells, witchcraft, voodoo, it is able to attach to some people. Financial spells, money blockages. They work on people that typically have a lack mind. Okay. Also, if people are doing spells on you, you'll find that when you heal, you'll find that people still are doing spells on you in those particular areas, but they no longer bother you. They no longer make you feel any type of way. You'll also start finding that when you go and you start having like blockages, obstacles, and you know that they are not naturally made, they're not something that God placed there for you to learn from, and it's being by someone, you'll find that it does not bother you. And the easier they get you to that energy, the easier those things dissipate and they become, I'm talking about, so irrelevant. The power that they hold or that they try to hold over you or take from you, it typically it just typically it doesn't, it's no longer powerful. Okay. Another thing about the spell work, y'all, is when people do spell work on you, and when they do spell work on you, typically they need your own energy to make the spell work. Okay. And that's just spell work 101, 411, whatever you want to call it, 211, I don't know. Anyways, The spell work, they do these on you, but it needs your energy to work or take full effect. So that's something that people need to know. Okay. So wild card, Holy Spirit, Divine Spirit. Which wild card do we want to? Oh, well, thank you, Cash Money. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. May you receive it back tenfold. Mm. I haven't seen you on here in a little minute. You sent me a gift. I know the video is crappy. Okay, so nice wild card. Nice, nice, nice. So this one says what the zodiacs really mean, what they stand for, what they represent on your path, and what they teach you. Lovely, lovely, lovely conversation. Wild card. Okay. Energies of my highest good that are very, very tuned in and tapped in, intellectual, and tapped into the knowledge and Akashic record of the zodiac signs, what they mean for each and every one of us. Allow me to tap into your energy at this time. I open myself to you completely, fully, wholly, so long as you are of my highest good and you come from a place of the heart chakra, love and light, or higher. Please align all of my chakras on that particular frequency for this subject to allow me to give out the best information as much as possible that you would like to allow for me to give to the collective concerning zodiacs. So typically people will think confirmation. They say ashe, ashe, ashe. So typically people will think, oh, I don't like this zodiac sign, and I don't like that zodiac sign, and I don't like this zodiac sign because they're like this, and they're like that, and they're like this. However, people always limit themselves by saying, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a fire sign, I'm a water sign, I'm a Cancer, Pisces, whatever the case may be. People limit themselves by thinking, by one, robbing yourself of a beautiful energy of a particular zodiac sign because you had a bad experience, let's say, with a karmic person of that zodiac sign or elemental sign. And we even do this to ourselves. We have done this to ourselves. We think that we are one way. My zodiac sign is X, Y, and Z, and that means that I have this characteristics, those traits, this, that. No, but what these things tell us is that what they tell us is that though these are our temperaments, these are our proclivities, these are the things that gauge us. We're not set, and we're not set in stone to those things. That means that these are the things, these are our characteristics, these are our strengths, these are our weaknesses, right? And those are gauges. They teach us how to navigate through each and every situation. And even when we encounter other zodiac signs that may be, let's say, a sister sign, we know that they will be the opposite of us, right? Everything about them will trigger us and us them, right? And this could be for anything, right? But that doesn't mean that people are bound to that particular sign, those characteristics, those traits. We learn what they are, we adapt, we heal, or we grow from them. We use them as a gauge. So when we encounter certain situations, instead of handling them like we normally, like a normal Sagittarius would, right? We learn that, you always have handled things like this, like a Sagittarius, like blow up fire sign. You go from 0 to 1,000 really quick. You know this about yourself. However, when you realize this about yourself, your zodiac sign, it doesn't mean you keep behaving in that manner. You keep responding or reacting in that manner, even if it's good or bad. That means that you just find different avenues, okay? Maybe the sister sign of mine, I don't like. They may trigger things about me, but I may be able to learn something for what it is and why they trigger me. They may have different ways or points of view of looking at things here, and it just may irritate me because that's not the way I do it. I like things done a certain way, and that's me. But I know that in any given situation, it's not always going to be able to be done in my way. So I have to learn to adapt to those things by gauging myself. Like, yeah, I know I'm going to this particular situation. In this situation, it calls where I will have no control over anything in this particular situation. And I know myself, I like to be in control of things because that is a part of also just my characteristics, but my trauma. Okay, that's a part of my trauma to want to be in control of things, right? So things never get out of control outside of myself. But here I am with those type of let's just call them shortcomings. With those shortcomings, I go into this situation where I know full blown well, this is a good situation for me. This is a good environment for me. But I know that I'm gonna have little to no control in that situation. So the thing is for me not to try and force my control in that situation, but for me to learn how to let go and let things be as they are. And whatever it is that arises that I can control with what it is that I know about myself, I allow myself to do such, right? And so people bind themselves to thinking that they are just one way. The zodiac signs just mean that those are the planetary alignments. They are the ruling. They are the problematic areas that you may have based off of what time you were born, what date you were born, and stuff like that. Those are your gauges, okay? Thank you, Timmy Man 420. I hope you smoke one and put one up in the air because duh. Anyways, so don't limit yourself by thinking because you are a sign or because you are an element that is what rules every single thing in your life. You're supposed to come out of the thing is, these zodiac signs, we can embody them all. We're supposed to be able to not allow them to rule over us, but to rule over them. We already know what the signs' characteristics, traits are, what they like to do, their shortcomings, their tempers, their all this stuff like that. We're not supposed to stick to that. We're supposed to overcome that. We're never supposed to have a ruling planet. We're supposed to get to a level of balance where we where we work in conjunction with the planets. Okay? So, that's what that means. So, that was the first wild card. But basically, the card is saying, what does it teach you? It just teaches you who you are and how you react to situations. But let's say that I encounter somebody that is the opposite sign of me, or whatever the case, they're a whole nother sign. I know how I will react to certain things that this person does based off of their zodiac says that they have these type of characteristics here, right? I know how I'm going to act. So what I want to do is I want to use my strengths, not my weaknesses, to try and dominate the other person's sign or prove my point. I want to use the strengths of my particular sign. Like I'm a good communicator, right? I wish I was blazing. I wish, but no, y'all, no drinking, no smoking, none of that. But I just use the strengths of, like, again, being great at communication. Like I can communicate with anyone. I pretty much get along with anyone for the most part, right? And I know, well, a Gemini, they're talkative and stuff, right? Hey. Hi. 318. Oh, you got a package for me?
Nope, not for you.
Tell Caleb, close that, because mosquitoes are out here. Tell Caleb his friend is out here. He's asleep, but yeah. How do y'all get more packages than me? Can I hold some money? Can I borrow something? Can you loan me? Can you loan me $20 till tomorrow?
I just told you that this is
318?
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Hey, that's 400, I bet you. Marcella?
Oh, I have, maybe.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
You like me, don't know all your neighbors. You gotta mind your own business.
I don't know anyone in this town. I barely know myself sometimes. No, I'm joking, but yeah, that may be. I don't know. The UPS man flirting. Anyways, collective. Race keeps wanting to come out, and that's so funny. I don't know. Do we want to touch on that subject or what?
Okay, I'll read those people in the house.
I really don't feel like going there. So I think that I'm going to table that for another discussion. Because I still feel like guns blazing by being called a black bitch. So I'm going to just leave that there because I cannot. I know me. See what I mean with the zodiac signs? I know that right now I am still not cool, calm, and collective off of being called that, okay, by someone of my same race. So I'm not going to even touch on that race card right now, you know, until I know that passions are dissipated about that. This is what I know about myself based off of my zodiac sign. And see, typically the old version of me, I would be on here and I would go ham, and I still do, you know, because there's still parts of me that I need to. Bro, y'all just get weird. Karma versus Dharma. And then we have the Great Illusions. I've been waiting on that card to come out. So, Karma versus Dharma and the Great Illusions. And again, if y'all have any suggestions on wild card discussion subjects y'all want me to put into the deck, I have plenty of blank cards. And I want to add to and add to and add to. So, let's start off Karma versus Dharma. So, if for most of us, we are old souls that come from past lives here. Maybe this is our second lifetime, third, fourth, fifth. Take that as it resonates. You and your spirit team, Most High God Source, know how many lifetimes you have been on this plane of existence, right? So, and we are here. You've reincarnated. Most of the time, it is by force because you did not complete or clear out karma. Let's say, okay, I'm gonna give you, for instance, in this lifetime, how the world is going. People cherish money over anything. They will betray any and everybody. It does not matter. They will betray you for money, for a dollar, for the almighty dollar. Devin the Dude is significant for anybody that knows Devin the Dude. And shouts out to the people that are blazing up for 420. Listen to some Devin the Dude. You'll thank me later. You'll thank me later. So, the stuff that people do, they think that it has no repercussions. So it does not only just follow down their bloodline and into their children's and grandchildren and stuff like that. It will follow them into another lifetime. The karma is the things that you do that goes against the divine flow, that causes an offset or an imbalance in not just your life, because we interconnectedness, we affect other people. You know that saying, there's no victimless crimes here. That's true in the spiritual realm because there's a such thing as the ripple or the reverberation effect. That means that even though you may go into a store and you may steal a pair of gloves or something like that, you may think that it's not hurting anybody. This store makes a lot of money, blah, 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 blah. It's just a couple of dollars. They won't miss it. However, there's a manager there. There's a supervisor over that store. They have to do inventory and they have to account for every dime that comes in and out of that store. They typically have to do inventory and financial reports, and they are short, okay, of that pair of gloves, the money for that. And that money, that particular money, it threw off their financial reports that they have to turn in, right? And that comes out of their pocket, okay? Or they get fired because the theft happened on their watch, right? So they get fired. They go home, they have a whole family to take care of, okay? Now their family is in lack because they are, let's say they are wholly, fully depending on that particular person, their job, the money that they bring in. That person gets fired. Now their family is in lack. They can't pay bills. They have to rob Peter to pay Paul. Now let's say that person has older, younger children, whatever. Those children, whoever lives there, they see that person in lack and they feel bad about themselves and they feel bad and they want to help. But maybe they aren't at the age where they can get a viable job. Maybe they're in a place where jobs aren't plentiful and stuff. Maybe they aren't awarded the opportunities of having any type of opportunities to have any type of job, right? So they decide that they want to go out and they want to go into the streets and they want to start robbing, stealing, selling drugs and stuff like that. This is what I'm talking about, okay? That is what karma is. And the more there is a ripple effect. Can you shut that door? Mosquitoes. There's a ripple effect that happens. Little do people know now, no matter how small, it's called the You know, they say the drop in the river or the lake or the pool or the ocean, right? There's a ripple effect that happens, and it affects long down the line, long down the line. So what you have done is you have set off a motion of negative karma for yourself. Now, you think that, oh, well, I'll get over it over time. It will just go away. However, that's not the truth. You go on in life, you pass away. You, the person that stole the gloves, right? You go on, you pass away. Now, in the next lifetime, right? Let's say that based off of that one theft of you stealing the gloves, in the next life that you reincarnate because you have racked up karma, karmic debt, okay? Because of all the people that you have affected, their free will, things that shouldn't have happened in their life, you have offset or did a certain thing that has caused a ripple effect in other people's lives, right? Now you have racked up karmic debt. No problem, right? Wrong. Because when you die, you'll reincarnate because of your karmic debt. It says that your soul is not clear. When you go into the underworld, your soul will not be cleared for clearance to go into a higher realm. Okay? So you are set to reincarnate. You reincarnate into a next lifetime, or maybe you die at 70 and then you're reborn 10 years later, right? Now you are in a place where that pair of gloves that you stole, you a kid, you just born in the world, you baby, you don't know this, but that pair of gloves that you stole in a past life before you transpired and was reincarnated, right? It has offset so many things because now you got a kid, a part of the household that's out here selling drugs and stuff. They're messing up other people's household, family. They robbing, stealing, possibly even taking people's lives and stuff. They'll do anything to get a dollar, okay? This can start family feuds, wars, gang wars, stuff like that. And, you know, things of that nature. So, you reborn into this life, and then you think that you don't have the memory, you don't have the recollection, because unfortunately that is a, hey, because unfortunately that is one of the many curses of not being born with your memory, right? So, you a kid, you don't know why you're born into a family that is fully impoverished, or all they do is backstab each other for money. All they do is feud and fight and gang wars, and they are betrayers, they are everything. But you don't remember that you are the one that started a bloodline. You started that karmic debt into your next life, the next generation, the karmic family that you are even reborn into, right? So you have to go through a series of clearing that karmic debt. How do you do that? Okay. You start by one, you got to remember, I mean, it's hard. It's difficult. You have to remember who you are. You got to know yourself. You have to heal through that karmic family, through all their transgressions. They thieves and everything. You literally done been born into a family full of thieves. They steal from you. They steal from anybody, right? But that's the motion that you set off, the karmic motion, the karmic debt you set off into your next life. Hopefully, for some of you, you'll clear your karmic debt, right? And so you have to go about your life here, and you have to struggle and fight through this karmic family that you unknowingly, unsuspectingly at the time have created. So eventually you know yourself, you heal, you evolve, you awaken to the fact that what you did in the past life, you're shown it, and then you are given chances to do good deeds. The more good deeds you do, the less karmic debt you have. And you have to do so many good deeds. And it has to be out of the kindness of your heart. It can't be just because you need to pay off karmic debt. It don't work like that. Oh, God makes it so hard for us to gain dharma. Okay? And we can even call dharma the good deeds, but I wouldn't explain it like that. So you do good deeds and stuff, and the more good deeds you do, you may have to do, I don't know, 1,000 hours of good deed worth of services in the spiritual realm, 1,000 hours, right? And it has to come from your heart. You are paying off your spiritual debt, your karmic debt, with what you do from the heart space, good deeds. Not because nobody is watching, not because you want to pay off the karmic debt, because you just feel it's the right thing to do. Something inside you says this is just the right thing to do, okay? And one of the reasons why we have that type of intuition and instinct is because a lot of us accumulated karmic debt for doing the wrong thing. Now, as you continue to do the good deeds, eventually, if you If you fully pay off your karmic debt, I mean, what this means is you neutralize the karma that you set into motion from a past life. And even this life, you neutralize it with all the good deeds you do. You offset it for the karmics. Again, if you think you can do that, it just don't work that way. It has to come from a heart space. It has to. It makes it useless. It's like what the equivalent of using like the barter. We're still in a bartering system, but you know, the bartering system no longer exists. You know, for those of us that kind of live by the way of the streets, you know what I mean. The bartering system still exists, but technically, the bartering system no longer exists, where you could trade something of equal value, equal or higher value for another thing of service, products, whatever. But that's the equivalent to that. Your heart space, it determines the value of what that good deed is that you're doing. So if people think that they can just do wicked shit and then you can go out and do a good deed, that does not offset it. And in fact, trying to trick the divine and the Most High God source into thinking that that's what it is, it will rack you up more karmic debt. And I wouldn't want karmic debt from the Most High. So this is just something I wanted to say. So you do enough good deeds from the heart space, and eventually you pay off that karmic debt. Now you will start racking up dharma. These are kudos, brownie points, gold deposits, so reserves, as you will. You can use that to pay it forward. You can use that dharma you've accumulated, because dharma is only there after karmic debt leaves. You have to offset or balance the karmic debt you have accumulated. Sometimes it's by way of our families too. So, you know how they say paying for the sins of our forefathers, that's karmic debt. That's what that's talking about. So, dharma only exists, or it only comes into, or you're only allowed it into your life after you have paid off all your karmic debt, period. Okay. And, now you have dharma. You can use it. You can keep doing good deeds, and you can keep racking it up here. Okay, you're making spiritual deposits into your spiritual accounts. Okay, and that account, it is safeguarded. Let's say the FDIC to 9 ethers. You know what I mean? I want to say to 1,000, but to ethereal, right? To infinite, right? That means that you are depositing all those dharma coins, that gold, whatever it is, into your spiritual bank account. That means that you can, in another life, if you reincarnate for whatever reason, because there are many different reasons why people reincarnate, not just because of karmic debt. Maybe somebody unalived you. Maybe there was something that happened. You unsuspectedly transition. Anything can happen, right? However, if you ever reincarnate, you have a spiritual piggy bank, a spiritual bank account that is insured by the ethers, by the Most High God source, by the divine, that allows for you to pull those dharma bucks out. Do you hear me? And you can use that if you're reincarnated into a lesser situation, or a karmic family, or impoverished, or even in good standing. You can use your dharma to set out certain things in motion here in that lifetime here that will help you continue to move forward and not accumulate karmic debt. Bro, this is fucking hey. Oh my God, I'm having deja vu. I'm having deja vu. I don't know what you want, but I wish somebody would try to call themselves popping up over here for any reason. For any reason. If I stay in my lane, stay in your lane. Man or woman. Don't think you're going to pop up on me, or anybody run up on me, or come talking to me crazy or anything. I haven't done anything to anybody. Stay in y'all lane. Because this is straight deja vu, and I remember the entire moment. Right here, right now. Wearing this, talking about this, right here. That's what deja vu moments are, anyways, collective. When you have deja vu and you realize, oh my God, I dreamt this, I had this, I've lived this before. What that is telling you is it's telling you stop, breathe, and remember what it is that you incurred in the memory. It's something important that we need you to see. We bringing it back around full throttle, full force, and we are letting you know it's deja vu. So because it's something important in that moment. Maybe it's somebody important in the chat. Maybe it's something important in my surroundings. Maybe it's what I'm talking about. Nonetheless, it's something important that you need to remember in that moment. When you have deja vu moments, breathe, stop what you're doing. I mean, if you can, if you drive and you don't want to stop, but you know what I mean. So, but yeah, that's the difference between karma and dharma. So that was the end of that. The Great Illusions. I think I'm gonna make that the last card. Because again, we're just getting into the motions of the wild cards. And trust me, the topics they get. And as y'all can see, no tarot cards, no nothing. This is just a thing that I like to do, kind of like twist some things up, right? The Great Illusions, though. Yes, the video is crappy. It's not the phone. It is the Wi-Fi, my good people. Listen to the sound of my voice. Marco Polo. Boy, if only this was a green pen. It's not. It's a vape, y'all. Just a regular vape. Anyways. The Great Illusions. Oh, man. Okay. Okay. The Great Illusions. We are all born into sin. Great illusion. I am from California. I live in the state of Arkansas, and I navigate around as a truck driver. Mwah. I'm a new truck driver, y'all, so I've been 1-2 places so far, but you know. Anyways, I'm from California. Yes, my accent is weird. I don't know what's wrong with my speech. I don't know. People here say I'm proper. People in California say I'm country. Other people just say I'm weird. Hey. I don't know. I think it's like 6:53. Who do I have a missed call from? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyways, we are all born into sin, the greatest illusion ever told. Okay. God gave his only begotten son to what? Redeem us and absolve us. Thank you for the gifts, my love. Thank you. Peace and blessings back to you tenfold. God gave his only begotten son to absolve us of all our sins and give us redemption. So if Jesus died on the cross for our sins, why are we born into sin? Why are we born into sin? Huh? Oh, hold on. I got more. Is 155 there? Okay. Hopefully you're doing something productive at that time or just chilling. I'm glad you tuned in from South Africa. I appreciate you for listening from SA. Tell Julius Malema I said, mwah, mwah, what's up? Listen, I watch Dr. Moonby show all the time, so I don't know anything. I can only go off of what it is I'm being shown, but I know that it's lovely, it's beautiful out there, a lot more than what they are telling us. So thank you for tuning in and tapping in from South Africa. 155 a.m. Synchronicities. That's a synchronistic number. 155. The beginning of change. Nice. Nice. So, Jesus died to absolve us of all our sins. However, we are all born into sin. Doesn't make sense. Okay. If we are all born into sin, how can a child, before the age of wisdom, discernment, or the age of maturity, be of innocence and purity? And they born into sin, right? The great illusion. So then you go about life saying you're born into sin. You automatically thinking you're impure, that you're not of the divine, you're not the Most High God's son, daughter, But then they say children are innocent, they're pure, but they are born into sin. You can't be the same thing. It can't. It got to be one or the other. One great illusion. One great illusion. And so we go through life thinking that God has a disdain for us. God has a hate for us. God does not, has turned his cheek, cannot hear us pray. And therefore people go and you go through things and I'm telling you, like, it's quite weird. It's quite weird. I try to show people this stuff as that to disillusion people. The type of mental anguish and discognizance that causes when people tell us that. So when you go through things as a young child, and the only person that you want to call on is God, you already feel it has already been fallen within you that God is not listening to you because you are sinful. A child of innocence and purity, God does hear you, but you don't call on God. And that it instills in you in an early age. So you go on and you go through stuff and people stop calling on God. Eventually they lose faith and forget that God has always been there and is always listening. And the reason why they tell you lose your innocence, your essence at the age of maturity or puberty or whatever is because you have finally made it to the age where you have been fully immersed or submersed by the tainting of the world and their false narratives. The great illusion. Period. It just don't quite make sense to me. So that's one of the greatest illusions ever. Growing up religious, real years ago, I think it's like 13 years ago now. I started, and I have never finished. I've tried on many occasions to read the Bible front to back. Okay. Oh, interesting. I'm being told instead of us reading the Bible front to back, read the Bible from back to front. I think I heard another person say that before too. Well, I've been having some strange little moments lately. Man. I'm quite normal in public, collective. I'm quite normal though. I don't be like this in public. I just, Anyways, I tried to read the Bible fully. Growing up very religious. I mean, heavily religious, okay? I found so many contradictions in the Bible. That was one of them. Like, the Bible mentions many different gods. Many. If you pay attention, if you really read the Bible and all the different stories and accounts of the different characters, energies in the Bible, it'd be different gods. Why would our God set us up to, why would the Most High set us up for failure? Give us a chance, giving his only begotten son, let him shed his blood to absolve us of our sins so that we can have a chance at redemption, but still force us to be born into sin. So we already been from birth, cursed, pretty much cursed with that thought right there. Then they tell us God don't hear us, they don't hear your prayers, but if you come through me and give me money, God hears that. But God say the money is the root of all evil, or the love of money is the root of all evil. And then you even have accounts of spiritualists. I like to take bits and pieces out of the Bible that fit the narrative, what they want to force on you to make their point valid. That's blasphemous. They tell you that if you say that there's more than one God, or that there's deities, or if you believe like spirituality, like tarot cards, then you are a blasphemer. Okay? Another one. Thou shalt not covet another man's wife. But if you have multiple wives, would you not be coveting a woman that is more than likely fit for another man as his wife? If a woman is virtuous and a man finds a good thing when he finds a virtuous woman, aka a wife, then why is Eve considered the one that put us all under a curse and sin? If all are cursed, how could a woman be virtuous then? How could a man find a good thing when he finds a virtuous woman by way of a wife? And then wouldn't that mean, I'm trying to show y'all how the loop goes. And then wouldn't that mean that every single child vessel that is born through a woman's, you know what, that they will retain the sinful energy, but a child is innocent and pure, but they are born into sin. But a woman is virtuous. The great illusions. Another great illusion. Oh, that's gonna start some shit. If we all have dual natures, and I'm talking about gender, masculine and feminine. Why is the man being forced? And men, this is no disrespect to y'all. Why are y'all the ones that society has forced and deemed that you have to bust your ass and break your back and bend over backwards to take care of a family? Y'all don't get tired? Y'all don't feel like that this day is that y'all should have me time? And I'm not talking about for the ones that want to be out here and thinking that they're the prize and they're the princess and they need to be chased. I'm not talking about those ones. I'm talking about real men. I believe men can be virtuous as well. Do y'all not deserve time to take a break, to be honored as well? Should it not be interchangeable? Because if a man is both masculine and feminine, a woman is both masculine and feminine, then that means the roles should be interchangeable. That means that no one person should be doing the bulk of pretty much 100% of the work. Of course you get stressed out. Of course you go looking for stuff elsewhere because you get stressed out and you just want to load off. And I'm not trying to rectify or give excuses for any man cheating. I'm being honest, because that's a false narrative that society has put on you. A woman should be barefoot and pregnant. A woman should be seen and never heard. A woman should never work. A woman should not bring home the bacon. Why not? Because if there are two of y'all, it's not a challenge. It's not a battle against one another. It's not a competition. That means that when one of y'all get tired, you are allowed to get tired. Masculine energies, right? A woman should be well equipped, because a man should be teaching his woman anyways how to be able to uphold a household in the case that anything ever happens to him. Okay. Another great illusion. Because in the event that happens, right? And a man, you fall deathly ill, you have any health problems, Selah. I don't pray that on anyone. Your wife is sitting there. She doesn't know how to work. She doesn't know how to make money. She doesn't know any skills or trades or any type of intellect outside of that house, and being pregnant and being your sex slave. And that is just ridiculous, because what happens to the woman and your children? Oh, another man shall covet her? Oh, no. No. Because typically they say that a woman shall be stoned in those events. So, another great illusion. And we embody both masculine and feminines. It is okay for us to be everything, to embody everything in ourselves. And then we can change those roles out for as we see fit in the family roles and structures. Another great illusion. Plants, trees, herbologists. I'm an herbologist, okay? I talk to nature. I communicate with nature. I work with nature. I bathe in nature. I stand in nature. I hug nature. I kiss nature. Everything. That's witchcraft, though. It's sorcery, right? Right? How can it be that that would make us pure sorcerer? I mean, that would make us sorcery. It would make us witchcraft in ourselves. Why? Because we are fashioned from the clay, the mud, the dirt, the earth. But I can't work with the clay, the mud, the dirt, the earth, the things that are me. That's sorcery. Great illusions. Every single thing that we need to heal ourselves, it all started with ourselves, collective. God fashioned us from it, and he placed it around us. Of course, it's supposed to work. We're supposed to work with free will. They like to use that against people. They like to do the kitchen witchery, and they like to do things and stuff. Demonic. It's crazy when God fashioned us from clay, from mud, from dirt, from the earth. What do people think? A great illusion. I don't do rituals. I don't do spell work. I don't do witchcraft. Okay, let's talk. When you make a soup consists of what? Water, maybe some type of bone or broth, a type of meat, herbs, seasonings, some vegetables. When you make a potion, it consists of some type of liquid, some type of herb, some type of eye of newt frog, a horn of frog, or something shit like that, right? Is that not what a fucking soup is? A stock? You know how they say, and this is for melanated people. If you are not melanated, this is nothing against you. And maybe you are non-melanated and you still went through this, because we all have been through this, no matter what shape, form, fashion, culture, race, creed, whatever we are, right? You know how they say, black people, you know, them old grannies, them old black family grannies, they can make something out of nothing. They can make a meal out of nothing. That's alchemy. If you can take beans and rice and some flour, okay, and some cornstarch, a little bit of cornmeal, some baking soda, baking powder, some salt. I don't know if I think they used to use lard, and you can make something out of nothing. That is alchemy. That's a great illusion. Everything that is about us, that is of God, they have made us think that it is evil and we are wicked forever even looking into it. That's why everything that they told me was evil, I looked into it. Don't looking at a cult book and that Necronomicon, I looked into it. Did I use it? Hell no, because I'm scared of shit like that. More importantly, I'm not scared of that. I'm scared of what happened to my soul with God if I do those things. Doesn't mean that God told me I can't look in it and I can't study the wicked tools and devices of my enemies. Their written instruments, the names they call upon, how they use them, the days of the week and what they mean, the numbers, how they mean, how they break stuff down, how they use occult stuff, how they use witchcraft and stuff. It is important for me to be able to look into the very things that they told me not to look into. Think about it this way. Would the enemy tell you to look in any of the areas to be able to know what it is he uses against you? What if the enemy, your hidden enemy, okay, don't want you to know who he is, So he wants to blind you to who he is. He pretends to be a friend. He pretends that he doesn't exist. That's a great illusion. Why would your enemy tell you to look in these places and tell you that these things are good if that's your power? And the main thing is like the main part of our powers, our energies, and embodying our, I'm talking about taking full on control and declaring your sovereignty. Sovereignty collective is knowing yourself. And everything about yourself is in all those places they told you not to look. I ain't telling nobody to go practice nothing. Don't let that go over your head and in one ear and out the other. Shay the DUAL Alchemist told me to go and practice. No, I told you to go and read. People don't even read anymore. My kids can't even follow basic instructions on the Jiffy cornbread box, and I don't like Jiffy. I like my shit homemade, like Granny used to make. Something out of nothing. You better not make me no dressing with no stuff, no cornbread stuffing and no Jiffy mix. Baby, don't even invite me to the cookout. But another thing, religion is a great illusion. You mad? People mad about that? I don't care. I don't care. Go find somewhere to be mad at. It's not over here. Goodbye. Religion is a great illusion. You know why? Because everything that we are composed of, everything that tells us exactly who we are, they split it up and then they put it in these different religions, and they made it look like these religions are fighting against each other and that they are feuding because they're fighting against which God is right. And no, they're just trying to keep us distracted of the fact that if you look into the Quran, the Torah, the all these other, the Bible, the Christian Bible, all these different things, and you piece them together, there are exact instructions from primordial states all the way into what we are going through now and into the future that tells us exactly who we are and what we need to do in order not to survive, but to reclaim our sovereignty and authority over our own power and energy, therefore rendering the enemy powerless. Great illusions. Y'all think that war is really about what they telling us? Came right on time after those Epstein files. Wink. Wink. There should have been whole wars fought about the innocence and purity of children. The innocence and purity of children being robbed of that. There should be fucking wars fought about that. They fighting wars over what? Over what? Okay. No, we ain't heard no more of Jeffrey Epstein. Everybody forgot? Oh, great illusion. Come on now. Pay attention to the underplay for the overplay for the underplay, or the underplay for the overplay, as I like to say. And nobody saying nothing about arresting none of those people. All the lists start coming out there, and all of a sudden, we going to war. Like, nah, miss me, bro. Y'all going to war. Iran. All of y'all. I'm good with y'all, bro. I'm good. Look, we suffer enough up over here. Y'all do what y'all do. I'm good. We ain't got no problems. No problems. Okay? I'm just saying. Great illusions. They do it to us every time. Every time. Until we start paying attention to ourselves, because they want to distract you. The Jeffrey Epstein files came out right after the Diddy stuff. And then all this other stuff started coming out, right? They was, mind you, they was in the middle of releasing names, big names, companies, everybody, everything, right? Not only that, they was releasing documentation, and a lot of stuff was redacted, but then they start unredacting files. People start hacking into the systems and releasing the files little by little. But they were talking about all those different private owned islands by these private billionaires and millionaires that have privately owned islands, and how the bulk of our innocent children and people that come up missing that are of innocence and purity, how they are taken to those islands and what things are being done to them. Boom, war. No. Great illusion. It's another one. It's another one. I always tell people, whatever the distraction is that is before you, pay attention to what was going on right before. And this is what deja vu moments are about, okay? The deja vu moment I just had that we all typically or sometimes have. When those deja vu moments happen, it's not a way of distraction. It's a way, even if we're doing something, this is distracting me right now, or that's distracting me, that deja vu moment will happen because boom, it's something you need to pay attention to other than what is in front of your face right now. This is how you gauge your intuition, my good friends. It sounds like a lot, but it's really not. You're going to find it, like most of you, you will find yourself just doing it. You will find yourself just being able to, like, did I just hear that person say that in their mind? I know they're not thinking that. Did I just see a picture of what this person is thinking? Did I predict that this was going to happen? Did I actually listen to that voice in my head that said, no, don't go at this time, go at that time? Or no, don't go with them friends. They're going to be in trouble. Something bad going to happen. Did I actually listen to it and avoid something? These things are helping us gauge ourselves, collective. But you'll never get it. The people out there that are still in karmic energy, wicked, whatever, you'll never get it because you are not paying attention to yourself. And it may sound self-centered and conceited, but self-centered. Man, know thyself. Why wouldn't I not be self-centered? How many of us have lost ourselves by being externally centered? Focused on everybody, giving everybody outside of ourselves the bulk of us, and then we lose ourselves. And then we have to what? Center ourselves, relearn ourselves. So self-centeredness is definitely about us. It's not about being conceited. I'm telling you that, like, the greatest illusion is that people don't want you to know yourself and who you are. That's why folks are always coming into your life and love bombing you, and and it's friends, it's family, it's lovers, it's relationships. Even you'll find your children being manipulative. Serious. They want to distract you at the moments of time when you feel like you really feel something in yourself. You really feel something within you that you never felt before. The more you get in tune with yourself, you're going to start to know that the distractions, they are on 1,000. They are on 1,000. The more you get in tune with yourself, the more you recognize the distractions, and they be like, distraction, 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 distraction. They did the war thing to divert our attention away from the Jeffrey Epstein files. But I even said those files are going to reveal things about divine beings, things about this world, what it really is, how it really works. It's going to reveal how all these people that seem to be feuding against each other, these countries, these cultures, these religions, they're all in bed with each other. And their whole thing has been to keep us from knowing that we are the innocence, we are the essence of the divine, we are the purity of the divine, we are the extension of the Most High God's source. And the only reason why we are in sin is because we go against ourselves and we refuse to look within and know that we are the divine. We are the ancestors. We the gods and goddesses. We are the deities. We are our ancestors' generations. If you die right now and you are reborn in another lifetime, who you are today or were today, that will be your ancestor. Am I making sense? They don't want you to know this. But when you start knowing yourself, knowing what you're capable of, you'll realize that all this shit is a ruse, that the great illusions, all ruses put before us to keep us distracted from going within and being self-centered. You're the center of your life, collective. Nobody outside of you should be the center of your life. I don't care if you're a parent, not your kids. And that's a hard pill to swallow. I may sound selfish, but we done put ourselves out a lot for our kids that grow up to disrespect the hell out of us and that betray us. You can't live for your children, can't work for your children, you can't heal, grow, and evolve for your children. You got to do it for yourself first. And I'm not saying that to be mean. You can love them, but you cannot love anything outside of yourself to a detriment to you. Great illusion. Great illusion. I do it for my kids. Hell nah, I do it for myself. I've been living doing it for my kids. And guess what? When I couldn't do it, they were deceptive. They were manipulative. They were disrespectful. They would easily turn against me. And I still love them to bits and pieces, but I love me more. Don't sell yourself short of you. That's the greatest illusion. You're not a sinful person. God has not turned his back or forsaken us. We're not disconnected or cut off from anything unless we don't know ourselves. We're not burning and going into hell. This is hell already. This is hell already. That's another great illusion. People don't know that this is the underworld. The physical realm is the underworld. Because if it were not, why would your soul reincarnate on a physical plane if this was not the underworld? And there are other cultures that their texts, their biblical and their religious texts, they tell you this. And they tell you, don't look into those other cultures. You worshiping other gods, but those other cultures have taught me many things that my one religion, Christianity, has not taught me. People go against all the commandments of the Most High God's source to prove that you are a sorcerer or a witch or a demon or a devil. How you going to go against God's commandments and committing sin to prove another person is sinful or they are not of the Most High God's source? It just doesn't make sense. Great illusions. So, I'm on 1%, y'all. And that was the wild card. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hopefully. Y'all leave some comments and stuff in the chat. Hype the video up, but leave comments in the chat on what other things, subjects y'all would like for me to add to the wild card, okay? And until next time, I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in and tapping in. And I'm going to release you, collective, and all other energies back to their respective places with love and light. And I will catch you all on the next live. Thank y'all for tuning in, tapping in. All the support, the supers, the gifts, the everything. I love y'all. Peace. I said, wait.